recruiting, really getting into the specifics from people who are actually doing it. So we put these panels together looking at actual production because we wanted people that were really out there doing it every day to be able to talk to you. So as I announce each of them, please give them a warm welcome. But our first panel participant, this is someone who's personally recruited 21 brand partners last year, 24 year to date herself, as a doctor, as a single mom, as a very big person. So think about, she has her kids, was a full-time doctor, just newly retired, but when she did all this activity, she's a full-time doctor, doing all that's required as a doctor and all that's required as a mom, and still made it happen. She has personally enrolled more brand partners than anyone else in the past 2 years. So she has some great tips for you. Please welcome to the stage, Silver NMD Allison Webb. All right, this next individual, he is a leader. He travels the world for his team. His organization has enrolled more than 1,000 brand partners in the last 2 months. 1,000 brand partners. His entire organization has recruited over 1,000 brand partners in the last 2 months. Please welcome to the stage, Platinum NMD Steve Lee. Right, our next panel participant, he has worked to help with his organization increase their brand partner enrollment 45% from June to August. So from the time from June to August, they, as an organization, increased their recruiting 45%, which is huge. Please welcome to the stage, Silver NMD Aaron Dinh. And our last panel participant is someone who has not only consistently done their own personal recruiting for their lifespan as a brand partner, but also has led their team in that as well. And her team has enrolled more than 500 new preferred customers every single month. So please welcome to the stage, Silver NMD Tracy Economy. So what I love about the participants too is we've got different personalities, different backgrounds, different things. So I also kind of want you to find yourself in their answers in terms of what's comfortable for you, because there's not one specific thing, right? There's not one magic ticket, but I think you'll find nuggets and can kind of resonate for different people from different things. So real quickly, starting with Allison, if you could just give us a quick background about yourself and prior to Neora.
Hello. Prior to Neora, I was an OB/GYN. I guess officially I still am, but I retired 2 months ago. Thank you, Neora. I have 2 kids. I'm a single mom. I adopted 2 kids. One is 7 and one is almost 3. So I am busy, but happy to be home.
Awesome, thank you.
Aloha, Neora family. Prior to Neora, I'm a stay-home dad, entrepreneur for many years. But for those of you who heard my story, my real background is I'm an immigrant. Came to the great country US, no money, no English.
Hello everybody, I'm Aaron Dinh. I've been in the industry for a few decades now, and I cannot be more excited today being a part of Neora. This is an anniversary for us. I've been with Neora now for 5 years, and when I got started, it was at a conference in this same room, same location. Really excited.
My journey's probably like many of you, lots of twists and turns. I started with telemarketing school to be a news broadcaster. Then I went on a blind date, and that bypassed that, got married at 21, had 3 kids by 25, started a business, and then in corporate America. So that's my story.
All right. So lots of different background stories. Each of you, we're talking about your own personal activity. So how do you fit doing your 2-a-days in your personal schedule? Like, is there a certain system you use, an intentionality you use? How do you really make it a non-negotiable in your schedule? Allison, sorry, you can go down the line.
Okay, back when I was busy, I guess I'm still busy, but back when I was working 80 to 100 hours a week, I scheduled my 2 exposures always, and I did it the night before, so I knew who I was going to reach out to almost always. And then there'd always be random other ones that happened, because that's just what happened, because I was really excited a lot. Now I'm not working, and I'm kind of mayhem at my house all the time, and it just happens, and I don't really know how. But I don't schedule it, it just happens. It's true.
Perfect. But did you guys notice her first answer? She was working 100 hours a week as a single mom, and so she had to be more intentional with her time in that season and knew exactly who she was going to contact the next day in a different season of life. She had more flexibility, but she still has that commitment to do it no matter what. Love that. Go ahead, Z.
Well, back in the first phase of Niora, that's 8 years ago, I was a party animal in Hawaii. That's what Amber calls me. That's how we built Hawaii. And I was doing way more than 2 a day, because when for those of you new here, it's 2 a day is great, but when you're brand new, you really want to drive the rocket. You want to take off as quickly as you can. What I really appreciate more about 2 a day is all about working this business along with life, so you don't have to take anything that is priority for you and your family to do 2 a day. If you just get that exposure out there, if it's not 2 a day, 1 a day is great. If next day you do less, you can do more the following day, right? 2 a day is just by intention. I travel a lot these days now, so I kind of mix my 2 a day thing to everything I do. Sometimes I pass with a flight attendant when I fly so much.
Perfect. Hi.
So I'm definitely very intentional with how I'm doing my exposures. I follow kind of like what Renee was talking about. I have a 6-year-old daughter, so I try to do when people say they don't have time to do the business, I always tell them to get up earlier. So I have this thing called the 5 a.m. club. And from 5 a.m. until about 7:30, before my daughter wakes up, I'm doing social media exposure. And then once I take her to school and drop her off, then I do personal exposures. I go out there and I get really intentional. So you can always squeeze in any time, but you just got to be intentional when you're meeting people, when you're out there doing things.
My time looks completely different now than it did 7 years ago when I joined. And 7 years ago, time was not something I had an abundance of. Working 60 hours a week, having 3 teenagers, also owning a business. I use drive time as my time to build my business. And, I primarily built my business without having social media of any kind, Facebook or anything. So it really was about picking up the phone and talking to people, not texting, but having that meaningful conversation. We all have 10 minutes, you all have 15 minutes in your day. And I built my entire business based on the exposures on 10 to 15 minute blocks.
Awesome. So I love part of that is that, I think when anybody gets started in this, a lot of people don't have time, right? But the 2 a day is what eventually, by taking those slivers of time, actually on the other side of that is a whole lot of time and freedom, right? That's what Allison did, is intentional. Even though she was working 100 hours a week, where those 10 minutes, and now she gets to decide what she wants to do with all of her time because she was able to retire. But the intentional time leads you to eventually having more time, which is great. So how many prospects do you personally, so I'm asking for your personal experience right now, how many prospects do you usually have in your funnel that you're following up with?
Why am I always the first one?
You're the leader of the pack, man. 45 brand partners in 2 years. We want to make sure you give us that glory.
I currently have probably like 30 or 40 in my funnel, maybe 50. I don't know. I went from my plan of how to do it has changed, so now because my life is kind of mayhem, I have a whiteboard. I actually have 3 big whiteboards. So, but one of them is for my new prospects, and I just keep a list and I kind of check off when I last talked to them or whatever, and I don't know, 30 or I don't know. It's all good until your 2-year-old really likes squirt bottles, and she's squirting.
She's helping.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Love
But
that.
anyway, so it's a good thing. It works until you have a 2-year-old.
Yeah. So I love the system. So you have a whiteboard and then you track the follow-up so you know how long.
It's always in my, it's always there until we're here, and now it's not here. So it's not, but I did take a picture before I left so I can follow up.
Awesome, perfect, love it. Okay, 30 to 40, tracks it on a whiteboard. Steve, how about
Well, I can tell you my first run, I have lots of people in my funnel because I do way more than 2 a day. So at that time, I have any given time 30 plus, in my funnel, because this business really about is a numbers game, right? You do something every day because you don't know who's ready, who's not. You have to play the number. Now we enter into 2.0, the Neora era. I'm going for the next run. So I see myself definitely just do the 2 a day or even 1 a day. You can consistently have 10 in your funnel in any given time. I would say minimum 10 if you're really serious about the business. If you just do your 2 a day, those 10 in your funnel will happen naturally. You don't have to try so hard. You just put in a 2 a day, the funnel will build up automatically.
perfect?
So just like Steve, like that, because we're so consistent with our exposures, it's really kind of hard to say how many people's in my funnel. I have a list that I have on my phone, and that list is just an ongoing list, forever and ever and ever and ever. Because I understand this thing called a looking window. There is no no's in our business. It's just a not now. So when someone says no to you, they're just telling you not now. So for me, the list, no one leaves my list until they join.
There's only one way out.
There's only one way out. And I kid you not, because recently, and I have my list in my pocket, I have it on my phone, and I keep it so simple so I don't have to think about it. So I have a list of names, and I just keep adding the list of names, and if they sign up, I put a thumbs up. If they're coming up with the money, I put a little star. If they are thinking about it or they're doing something, I leave it blank. So as I keep going down the list, once in a while, I'll remember, okay, let's go back to the top and follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Because it's all in the follow-up. It's all in the follow-up. Some people
How many times on average do you think you're following up with someone until you get to a yes?
I follow up forever. I follow up forever. And social media allows us to do this really, really well, because a follow-up can be just a happy birthday, how's everything going, and I just consistently do it. And people that I've shared this business with 5 years ago when I was at this conference, I just signed them up a couple weeks ago. And it's just because I just kept that connection, and eventually they're like, I remember this Neora thing you were telling me, and now I'm starting to see it everywhere. Are you still doing that? I'm glad you asked. Let's get you started.
For me, the funnel is a little different than what I'm actually working on, because your funnel can be as big as you can imagine. Your opportunity is everywhere to meet people, or it's nowhere if you don't open your mouth and talk to somebody. So the funnel is one thing. For me, I narrow that down to have 10 in play all the time. I think to have a lot of people you're working on is great, but the ultimate goal is to sign them up. So if you compare that down to the people that are getting closer to that stage of the process, that really is where my focus is. And as soon as somebody's out of my 10 in play, I'm adding it with another one. And like you, no one really ever leaves. They may leave my whiteboard and my 10 that I have listed, but they go into my planner and they'll come back around a couple months later when I follow up again.
Awesome, thank you. So which tools do you personally use to start conversations, or tools you found to be effective? And I think we're gonna have varied answers, which is great, but what are you personally kind of using as a tool in your recruiting process?
I don't have a consistent tool that I use all the time, so I use holistic approach to aging, because most people I'm talking to, a lot of people I'm talking to are doctors who are burnt out. So I do that. I often send them to Cigna Biosciences website because doctors want to see the real science. sometimes I'll send them articles. It's really variable, and how I follow up is always send them something different. So if I'm following up, I have to give them new information, otherwise I don't need to follow up. So I just figure out something else, or I notice that they're, I don't know, burnt out, and I say, oh, you know, whatever, say something nice, or say something poking, but I was at the pool again, you know?
Yeah, I love it. So
Whatever.
it's a process. You're looking for something new to share, a new reason why you can share a different piece of information, because you never know what piece of information is actually going to pull them. So perfect.
Exactly.
Great, thank you.
I actually use a lot of tools, but the tool that I found one of the most simple things that any one of you can do. Doesn't matter how many kids or how many jobs you have. You can be sitting in your toilet do that, because I do that all the time. It's Go Prospect, right? You know, I'll pop the question to ask people, hey, are you open? Do you keep your income option open? If I get a yes, I say, I have something for you to take a look at. I'm not sure it's for you or not, but if I send you a short video, would you take a look at it? So I use Go Prospect a lot, and I tend to use White Neora right now, you know, because when I present, I truly believe in this type of business network marketing, which really blessed my life in the last 30 years. The true product is really the business opportunity, right? That can change people's life, and we can do it alongside with looking younger, being healthier. So I like to use the business approach, and then if I have to default back, I turn them into a PC. But I kind of like to use Go Prospect a lot, and also like the magazine a lot. The magazine is something that I use as a follow-up tool.
So yeah, definitely, I'm with Steve on that. But I do use the Go Prospect a lot. The tools, I am religious with the tools. I'm religious with third party. I never explain the business. I never explain the products. As you can tell, like, we're all pretty sexy, right?
Pretty sexy.
But Amber has made the tools sexier than us. So I'm religious. My friends will ask me to tell them about the business, will tell them about this and that, and I just say, I can, but I'm not. Give me your contact and I'll send you some information. Because I don't do anything unless it duplicates. I don't do anything unless there's a system involved. So I do the tools a lot, and I follow Amber's advice, because these people have to see multiple exposures before they make decisions. So I'm always consistently sending information, so then I know by that time that they're ready. They've already seen multiple information.
Thank you.
For those that have been in a business like this in the past, you can respect what Neora has done for us, and really there isn't any one better tool than another. It's just what you find that works for you. And I have so many that I love, but honestly my favorite is whatever it is the right fit for that person at that moment in the stage of their journey. If I have someone that is really interested in the science, I'm not going to send them a compensation video. So you're just trying to find the right tool that's going to set you up for success, not just, I just need to get another piece of information because I need to expose them 4 to 6 times. No, you want to give yourself as many chances to win with that. So really identifying which tool that might be. Could be a live person, a video. I'm with you guys on Go Prospect. That's probably if I had to pick something, something that I would definitely choose.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Lots of good answers. We're going to have a Go Prospect training tomorrow by Sam Wyatt, so you guys are in luck. You'll learn more how to use that. So last question, if you've been talking to someone and you're just trying to kind of get a gauge, get an answer, even if it's a no or not right now, is there any kind of verbiage you use or process you use, to get that answer?
I'm once again very variable on what I do, so I'm not set. So I gauge how they're feeling or how it's going, and then if it seems like it's going well and they're excited, often they'll just say, well, I'm in. I'm like, that was nice. And then sometimes it's not, and so I'll just, there was a couple people I followed up with before I left, and I said, hey, I'm going to this conference, it's going to be really exciting, I'd like you to be involved with hearing the news with me, and that didn't go well, but I tried it, so I try something new all the time.
Perfect. So I think, what's great, Allison, is that you just do the activity, and you get the results, and it's not always, like you just said, you try something, that might didn't work, you try something else, and that does. So it's just the consistency. Awesome, thank you.
Well, depending on the individual, if you feel that after they look at the information, and what I normally ask is, okay, do you have any other questions before I take you to the next step? And some people I know really well and say, hey, you told me, let's get you started right now. Which package, do you see yourself, like the most? How much saving do you want? The bigger package gives the bigger saving. While some people that they somewhat, maybe if you're trying to close them, it may not work too well. I will tell them, okay, did I answer all your questions? I will ask them, what would you like me to do next? What would you like to do next? Let them tell you, right? So I guess there's no real cookie cutter here how you wrap up the sales, but you do have to lead them. One way or the other, lead them, and sometimes just be direct. If you know them really well, let's get you started. Because if you don't so-called close them, people in general don't like to make decisions. You have to really lead them to it. And sometimes you have to ask them, what would you like to do next? Do you have any other questions? That's what I normally do.
Perfect.
I think what Steve did right at the end, there's two parts to it. What Steve did right at the very end was very powerful. Let's get you started. That statement is huge. Because there's so many people that'll get to the point where they want to get started, but they just kind of like, okay, where do I go from here? And both sides are kind of like stuck there, you know what I mean? They're just waiting for you because people have challenges making decisions. So if you say, great, you have no more questions, let's get you started, right? When you say that, you'll see them nodding their head. Well, nod your head when you're saying that too, okay? You know what I mean? You got everyone nodding, you know what I mean? Because it's just kind of automatic. That's one thing. The second thing that I do very, very differently is when I sit down with somebody, I don't wonder if they're gonna join. I just start talking and I start planning on how they can do the business. You know what I mean? When is your work schedule like? Okay, what time is it? What time? Okay, I can help you during these times. Because from my experience, people only say no for two reasons. Everything else is just a disguise. Number one, is this thing for real? And number two, can I do this? And if you can answer that, you'll do it.
For me, there's two different ways I go about that. And initially for me, when I got started in my business, because I had very limited time, those conversations, I didn't have 40 minutes to spend with somebody. It was very going with my warm market first of people that I could have a direct conversation with and say, look at what this company is already done. When I joined, it already had a lot of accolades. But we have Jeff Olson, you have all your key bullet points you want to hit, but most importantly, you're one of those bullets. Yes, they're joining with the company and these great products, but ultimately they're joining with you initially. So for me, having a conversation, I was very direct with people. I didn't have time to drop off samples and do that route. It was, I know what I'm going to do with this company. Failure is not an option. Based on our business model, it's to your advantage to sign up now so I can help you build as we move forward. The second part of that is, with some people, I'd have a conversation of being a business owner and investing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that pressure of having to be there and kind of that overhead. $500, yes, it's a lot for some people, but you have no risk. You're buying $800 and some worth of product for $500, and you're getting the business platform for free. This is a no-brainer. So it's just your approach and how you do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And like the accolades that we